So hi everyone. It turned out that we have a little, like a gift for the best question. So I don't know what it is. Is it a game? It's a board game. Well, sounds cool. So hi everyone. I'm Gosia. I'm user interface designer at Polydia, which is a mobile software house based in Warsaw. And today I wanna talk about our project. Like we are working like agency, so clients approach us and ask us to build apps for them, and I'm going to talk about GigTown project, GigTown Android app case study. This project was interesting because they already have an iOS app, which was almost done when we started working with on Android app, and they asked us to create the app for them, which will be native Android and made with material design principles. So the app is about connecting the people and musicians, so everyone can browse the app and pick the local musicians that he or she likes and invite these musicians for an event like a birthday party or wedding. So before I go deeper, I want to tell you about some principles behind the app, just to like a quick information for you to not get lost further. And we have the app is targeted for 3 different type of users. The first type is unregistered users who can browse the feed with artists. Registered users who can book artists for their events, and artists and their managers who manage those upcoming events. And this iOS app is pretty native in terms of iOS principles, but it's a little bit custom in terms of graphics. So we have a basic tab view with discovery feed, booking of a list of upcoming events, profile, and manager section. So when we first approached this project, we thought that maybe we can just copy and paste this structure, because the structure is pretty native. So maybe we can switch the iOS elements like tabs into Android elements like tabs, because both platforms have the same approach to that. Thanks to Google, we have Android design guidelines, which are like, probably all of you are familiar with those guidelines. Like, please raise your hands if you know those. Whoa, like yeah. So there is everything about designing app for Android, and we use those principles to create the first concept, and it looks Androidish and it's fine, but we found some problems with that approach. The first problem is that in iOS, when you have tab view, you can show the users both the icon and the title, and in Android you have to choose whether you want to show the title of the section on the tab or the icon. You can show, of course, the both, but the user should swipe between views to to know which are the titles. And this is the first issue with that. Another one was the My Profile tab, which is super weird on Android to use whole screen on tab view just to show you the big picture of you and your account details, because you know this it's your account, so it doesn't make sense to use whole tab to show it. And on the last screen, we saw that it becomes a little bit crowded on the tabs because we have 4 tabs in that situation, and we were afraid of smaller devices because this is a Nexus 4 screen, and with smaller screens it could be a problem. And some other apps use exact the same approach, but this is like Google app, YouTube, so they can do some stuff like that. And material design guidelines provide us also a lot of regulation about typography on the screen, but those principles are based on Roboto typeface. And as I said before, GigTown App has some unique look and feel, which is based also on custom typefaces. The main of them is Brandon Regular, and believe me or not, this is the same size of both typefaces. I'm not kidding you. Like, these are exactly the same size. So you can clearly see that we couldn't just use the typographic principles on Brandon because this is the different font. So we get confused at this point, and we decide to step back and rethink our whole approach and develop 3 different ideas for general navigation to see which of the ideas will be the best. And the first idea, we decided to get rid of tab because that doesn't work at this project. So we based our idea on one drawer. When you tap on the calendar icon, you can access the drawer with a shortcut for your profile and the list of upcoming events. And we use drawers on the manager section just to divide those 2 roles of one user, because one user could be both a manager and regular user at the same time. Okay, so this was the first idea. The second idea was to provide 2 drawers because one drawer isn't enough, and basically it's the same, but we took this My Profile shortcut into separate drawer, and it was nice. And we really like the idea of the direct shortcut to My Profile section from the main screen. And we incorporated this idea into a third proposal, which was based on drawers, which was based on tabs, because we decided to rethink the idea of the tabs, and it turns out that in our first approach, the problem wasn't with tabs, but with My Profile in tabs. So we choose the third idea, and we developed the structure of the app with that approach. And this is huge app because you can connect your credit card, do all payment stuff, book the artist. This is the booking artist workflow, which is really long, and I get back to it on further slides. And we estimate that the development of the whole application could take us months. And as I said before, our client already has an iOS app done. So they wanted to promote the service, and they didn't want to wait till whole Android app will be done to start the sale sale thing. And we decided to split whole app into milestones that could be easier to reach. And the first milestone was the concept of local radio. So we cut off all those booking stuff, payment stuff, because it's hard to do and it takes a lot of time. And we slightly changed the app purpose to give users the opportunity to browse the artist list and to listen to their music. But so this a little bit different, but it gives our client an opportunity to market this as a standalone product and to start communicating GigTown as a service and GigTown as a brand. Another milestone was like booking whole booking flow and payments, and the last one was incorporate manager section into the app. And during the implementation, I learned that teamwork makes the dream work, and we were working together with a team of developers and our clients. And thanks to that approach, we are able to talk about our problems, issues, and developing ideas together. And Magda has a presentation yesterday about the value of talking to each other at the project. And I really learned that in this project, I really learn that it works. And thanks to this approach, we were able to conduct some experiments during the implementation process. And one of the experiments was using vector files as to provide all graphic assets to the application. I don't know how many of you know that preparing all bitmap assets into all Android screen densities is a nightmare for designers. Like, it really takes a lot of time and it's boring as hell, like, really. So we avoided the whole cutting process, and thanks to work of Zielony, which is here, like, right? Thank you for that, like, really. And he creates a whole carbon, correct me if I'm wrong, a whole carbon library to provide material design features into older Androids. Yep, I'm right, okay. And one of the things that are there is the whole library to using vector assets on old Androids. And we met some issues along the implementation process. And one of the issues were material design pickers, because app was supposed to be native material design. And we saw that the pickers are really complicated, and the pickers, those pickers are a part of booking workflow, which is already really long and boring for a user. And there is a lot of tapping around just to provide two information. One, the time that the event should start, and the second one, how long it should last. So we decided to change the native components into custom-made components, because we thought that it would be easier for user to use. And it's similar to iOS approach, but at the same time, it's similar to previous pickers before that you could use on Android before material design revolution. And we met also, we went through back button gate because there is a lot of problems with 2 back buttons on Android, and I know, I think only the Android developers know that which back button do some certain stuff. Like, I ask a lot of Android users, they don't have any idea to differentiate. Yeah, I know that the one is called up, but which user knows that? Like, none of them. And this is not a problem in many situations, but in our long booking workflow, it was a problem because the user provides all of the information, and when he or she accidentally tap on the wrong back button or up button, the user can lose all data provided before. So it was really frustrating for our users, and we even considered getting rid of all up buttons in the whole app. It was the idea, but we thought that probably it brings us more problem like in the future. So we didn't go that way. And we just switch on certain screens the arrow icon to close icon, just to show the user the effect that it could have on after tapping. Another thing was images proportion, because whole backend stuff and storing the images was prepared for iOS devices, and iOS devices Android devices are usually a little bit wider than iOS. So when we were using existing images from backend, we got this results. So the user on the feed cannot see two artists at the same time. It provokes a lot of scrolling, and on this artist detail screen, the song list is hid behind the booking artist button. So we changed the images proportion into wider one to get nicer results and to show some more things on further screens. And we use our approach with generating ideas on other issues that appeared along our way, and when some unexpected features came to our project, we sit together and we draw our different ideas and approaches, and we evaluate them with development team or with development team and clients, and we usually do that with nice mock-ups, but also with really simple, ugly whiteboard quick sketches. So it worked, because it prevents us to choose the way. It's not a trade-off between our design, the user needs, development possibility, opportunities, and clients' needs. So during this whole process, I learned that iOS app is actually could be actually a good starting point to develop Android app, and because some of the problem are already solved by iOS team, so it's easier some way, but still Android is a different platform, so you have to experiment and find a good approach to do that. And it's worth to step back and generate ideas. And I really mean in plural ideas, so at least 2 ideas to be able to compare them and to evaluate them, pick the best one, and work your team closely to get the best results. So thank you.